Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grip Blocks Foundation Disc Golf's weekly podcast. Happy Christmas Eve, peoples. When you're listening to this, we're recording on Friday. Just full transparency.
And Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas. We're recording this on Friday because when you're listening to this, we won't be in the office. So if any crazy news broke over the weekend, the future weekend, that's why we're not covering it in today's episode. I'm assuming
that'd be pretty mean for them to break it right before.
I'm
Christmas.
assuming no one's breaking anything around Christmas, but you never know.
I drop stuff all the time.
Santa breaks and enters every Christmas.
Ooh.
I do expect some off-season movement to be happening next week's episode and the week after that, like when January hits, because if you remember going into the off-season, I think there was 80 free agents or something like that.
Well,
something of a crazy number.
I think last year too, it definitely happened, but like those disc golf companies are just fiending the second the clock strikes midnight.
Well, I think what's happening is
New Year hits and it's just announcements.
I think what's happening is post lawsuit disc golf, there's a lot more strictness on that contract goes through January 1st,
right,
or through the 31st. Ours starts January 1st. We can't do anything before that. It was just like people were letting stuff fly.
Oh, yeah.
So there should be a lot of announcements coming up.
Respect the law.
And if there's not a lot of announcements, then there should be a lot of announcements of I'm going unsponsored or I'm not touring next year. Both are announcements.
I'm going to make an announcement. I'm not touring next year.
No.
And I'm not sponsored.
No, Trevor. Dude, a sponsor would snatch you up. You're like dirty high rated.
Trevor.
It was too much.
You're like actually really highly rated, though.
I am pretty high rated.
974, this guy.
If you check out my rating.
All right, well, before we get into today's episode, let me take a moment to thank our sponsors. BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen with the largest selection of odds on everything from football to NBA and college basketball, NHL to UFC. Head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. Please, bet responsibly.
Con, are you rocking a dirty apple juice over there?
Yeah, I'm rocking a dirty apple. Well, it's not. I feel like when we say dirty apple juice, it makes it sound like I have apple juice that I put adult beverage in. It's just mine.
That's just an adjective we use around here.
You just put coffee in it?
Yeah, I put coffee
like
in
a dirty chai just means I put coffee in chai.
Where'd you happen
That's actually a good point. Yeah, it's just apple juice with espresso.
Where'd you happen to procure that?
My wife said, would you drink some apple juice if I got it?
Apple juice.
And I said, yeah, because she needed some apple juice for a recipe she was making.
Gotcha.
So she bought a little pack of these little
I love
apple juice.
Name brand apple juices.
That is one of the big benefits of having a kid is pre-Luca, my wife would never buy me juice. She was just like, we don't need juice. There's so much sugar. And I'd be like, just when you go grocery shopping, just throw grape juice in there. She's like, you're just going to chug it in a day.
Yeah.
Now,
it's true.
She buys it for Luca.
And you steal it.
I just chug it in a day.
Yeah, I do as well.
And I'm like, man, Luca ran through the apple juice,
I
Liz.
can slam some juice.
I feel the same way about sweet potato puree. Gabby would never buy it for me before.
Yeah,
but now sweet potato puree, banana puree, like I've got everything I want.
Let's go, man.
That's
Shout
huge.
out.
So the main focus of today's episode is we're going to look into the House of Discs financials. We got their P&L and we got their balance sheet.
Does everybody have their auditor hats on?
I do.
Better audit.
So let me explain a few things before we get into this. First off, financial statements of companies in Sweden are public information, but they typically require a fee of some type to access. Ooh. So to be clear, we did not pay said fee, but someone did, translated it, because I think it was in Swedish, translated it and converted the money to US dollars and emailed it to us.
Is that kind of illegal?
No.
No.
It's public information.
Public information.
You just had to pay to see it.
Yeah, but it's like the government posts it. That's how people know how much UC Maresma made from the sale of Discmania.
But then what's the point in charging for people to see it then?
It's like saying the government can make money.
It's like what's the point in charging for Netflix when people share each other's accounts, you know?
Yeah, I guess. But it's more like if I watch something on Netflix, record it on my phone, and then post it on Facebook.
Yeah.
But
joke's on you, Swedish government.
I was just
what
saying,
are you going to do?
I was more saying it.
We're in the US of A, baby. Come and get it. Konner here, he doesn't care about you guys. Come and get him.
I was more saying that we can't confirm this is 100%
that makes sense.
Accurate is the point I was trying to get to.
Love you, Swedes.
I was not trying to question the legality of
I'm
anything.
not questioning it as in like it's wrong. I'm questioning it as in like I don't understand.
He has his auditing hat on.
Apparently.
He has his auditing hat on.
I just don't understand how it can happen.
Which part are you getting hung up on? Part A, if you Google, because I did this to make sure, Swedish financials, public information.
No.
Public information.
That's
Part
right.
A.
But if it's
Are we
behind
struggling
the
there?
paywall,
Are we hung up there?
Connor, sometimes things are put behind a paywall, not because they know it's bulletproof, but because they know they'll make some money off of it.
That's fine.
That's why
it was just an interesting situation. That's all I
It's not behind a paywall. Just there's a fee.
It's just a wall you have to pay to get to.
Yeah, it's not like a subscription paywall thing. It's just a fee. It's like there's a park, Mayflower Park, that we go play disc golf at. Public park. You have to pay to park.
That's a great, wow. That was a good analogy, I think.
I love it.
It's public land,
so
public park, but you have to pay to park
So
there.
we're just hitching a ride with this guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're carpool.
But we don't know if we are. That was what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Is I didn't access this. This was emailed to us. So therefore, this could all be fake.
It's probably not, though.
That's what I was trying. That's the point I was trying to make.
But it's probably not.
That's what I was trying to make. That was my point.
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to make a counteractive point.
No,
really.
That's good legal cross-examination.
Anywho, we could have accessed this information, but it was all Swedish. So I can't confirm the accuracy of what I'm about to read. That was all I was trying to say. This is also, we're going to be looking at a P&L statement, which means profit and loss statement, and their balance sheet. So when you're looking at P&Ls, they can be misleading because there's a lot of ways to...
loss.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to hide money, but not like legally hide money within a P&L. Like you can write stuff off more aggressively, less aggressively. So a P&L can look a lot of different ways intentionally for tax purposes. So with that being said, we're going to dive into this, but just keep all of that in mind of like we're looking at their P&L, and there's a lot of companies that will intentionally operate at losses or operate near break even because you pay less taxes that way. I don't know how Swedish laws work, but there's a lot of like tax loopholes in the U.S. law.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is who even knows what Swedish tax laws look like?
Because when we look at this, so 2022, this is House of Discs. So remember, this is Discmania, Latitude, Dynamic, Castaplast, all being put together into one Discmania, into one company. So that's what we're looking at, is a bunch of disc golf manufacturers together into one company here. And so if you look at 2022, which they did 11 months of, because I think that's when this all started, they lost $8 million. Again, paper loss. So we're looking at a P&L here. That doesn't mean that they had $12 million to begin the year and they have $4 million at the end of the year.
Yeah.
That just means paper. And then in 2023, which is what we're going to break down, they're showing a net loss of $25 million.
A lot of M's. We could go M for M.
First thing to look at, which is the most obvious paper loss that you can really see here, is massive. Honestly, it's the difference from one year to the next, which is $17 million in depreciation. So that's the first thing to note here is of the 25, $17 million of what's being written off is assets they still own. So how that works is we'll use U.S. for example. Let's say in the U.S. you bought a car and there's different weight restrictions, yada, yada, yada. But there is a world where you can buy a car for $50,000 as an LLC and you can write off that full $50,000 in 1 year. So what that would show is on the depreciation on this line item, it would say negative $50,000, but I still own the car. The car is still out front.
Okay.
Where it hits you is when I go to sell that car, my cost basis is now zero. So when you're looking at this and they lost $17 million there, that's a lot of money, obviously, but that loss could be on things that they still own. So they could still have assets to offset that if that makes sense.
Big old depreciation sheet to fill out, it seems.
Yeah, well, so it's an increase.
That's a lot of line items.
And the big thing here, we'll look at this. I think the big shift from one year to another, one of them is the purchasing of Discmania, I believe happened in the 2022-2023 switch. So you see depreciation went from $9 million in 2022 to $17 million. So that's a $8 million increase. Still, though, if you take the depreciation off the table, you're still looking at a net loss of $8 million. And again, there's other stuff like there's $14 million here of other external costs because this is a consolidated P&L, so it's not fully line item out. Other external costs is negative $14 million, so they spent $14 million on who knows what that is. That can be, I don't see marketing on here.
Other operating costs too.
So marketing can be on there. A lot of stuff can go into there. Labor expenses is listed at $8 million, but if we look at this, some encouraging things, right? Top line revenue was $39.2 million in 2023. Pretty massive. That is a $16 million increase over 2022. And then their operating costs went way up one year over the other to show the net loss of $25 million.
That is one interesting thing to look at with this sheet, and obviously this is an update all the way through 2020 because this sheet would have been filled. This is for the year of 2023, so it doesn't cover this year. But one thing you'll note is obviously because of the sales increase of like $15 million almost, you'd have to assume that a lot of their paper loss is like less trouble and more growth, because for a company to like, they would have had to projected such insane sales numbers for them to grow at a rate that wouldn't have been sustainable even while increasing their sales by like 20%.
Well, one thing to me here is if you think back to 2023,
more than that,
there was no, at least on the external, there was no alarm bells going off for any of the House of Disc companies in 2023.
No.
Yeah.
2024,
because they were still like acquiring companies at this
2024 point. Is when there were some layoffs at Dynamic. We've seen people leave Discmania, so on and so forth. So to me, I take a lot of this with a grain of salt because, like I said, you can write off a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of ways to, with good accounting, make stuff look certain ways for tax purposes. So the $25 million, like you see healthy growth on the top line from 23 to 39. You obviously see a huge increase in operating cost, but how much of that is investing in the future, which is what Trevor's alluding to, of how much of that is, well, we spent way more on maybe in Sweden you can write off new machines and stuff like that like immediately. So maybe they just really expanded and they just wrote it all off and took the loss here this year for the sake of future growth. I don't know. So encouraging though, $39 million top line sales. That's a lot of money coming in to this company. The other thing that I think is really interesting that people will find is their balance sheet. So this is where we can see what they're valuing a lot of stuff. So first thing that's a huge line item on their balance sheet is trademarks. So what are trademarks? Trademarks is basically any logo, anything that's like a brand name, brand slogan, all of the disc names, all future disc names, anything like that. That is basically, it's not tangible, it's intangible, but it has value. So the Discmania logo, Reinvent Your Game, both of those things would be under trademarks. That comes in at $26 million for trademarks. Now you have to remember across all the brands, you have Discmania, you have obviously Trilogy, Dynamic, Latitude, Westside, Cast Class. There's a lot of discs under there. There's a lot of logos.
And do they assign that value themselves?
Typically, it's I don't know how it works in Sweden, but typically it would be inherited from their purchases when they bought these companies out, and that would have been determined by an outside auditor, typically. Right. The big other one that comes with this is goodwill. So goodwill on here is what the brand's intangible worth is. So you have Discmania's logo under trademarks. Goodwill is what is the Discmania fan base? What is all of that intangible, like the value of the brand goes under goodwill.
Interesting. So
really what you see the increase here is from trademarks. They had $25 million in 2022, $26 million in trademarks in 2023. Big increase was the goodwill. They had $108 million in 2022, $127 million in 2023. Again, I believe the Discmania transaction happened in 2023, and we know from that UC and them sold Discmania for $20 million. So that makes a lot of sense.
That's
goodwill.
Insane number.
Now, one thing that is interesting to me is machines actually went down. So 2022, they had $10.2 million listed as machines on their balance sheet.
Yeah, that's
2023, they had $9.3 million. What I would assume this is as you bring all of these brands in and consolidate, there's going to be companies that owned machines that you can now just manufacture discs on less machines. So like, if Latitude's making Trilogy and all of a sudden you have Discmania owns machines, which I don't know if they actually did or not, but Discmania owns machines, Castbox could have owned machines, whoever else, and once it all comes under the house, it can just be, well, we don't need all these extra machines. Latitude's all that needs it.
That's true.
So it could have been brought machines in 2022, got rid of the ones you don't need. Their equipment and other, which who knows what all that is, went up from $886,000 to $1.2 million. So their total fixed assets are $166 million.
And if they were to value their company to sell, is that a number that they would be basically referencing, their total fixed assets?
Your assets would be a huge part of it, yes, because that is all factored in.
Because that's combining, like that's counting like that goodwill and that trademarks, like kind of the intangibles with what they actually own.
Yes. Now you do have to take. So you have your assets, but you have to also look at the liabilities, which we'll look at here.
Right.
And then a big part of value in a company is the bottom line.
Yeah.
So what this also shows is that they're not looking to sell House of Discs anytime soon, because you would flip the way you account and do accounting when you're trying to sell, because you want that bottom line to look real strong. If you're trying to bring,
not going to throw a lot of paper losses on there.
Yeah, you don't, because if there's an investor coming in,
yeah,
you're looking at,
hey, we're profitable. Look,
we lost $8 million in 2022. We lost $25 million in 2023. Do you want to be a part of the $40 million loss in 2024?
Yeah.
That's a different pitch than we made $4 million in 2022. We made $6 million in 2023. We're looking to make $10 million this year. And people a lot of times will take that number. There's a bunch of different ways to value a company, but a lot of times you can take that bottom number, simple way, and people will kind of multiply it by 10. Because it's like, oh, if this company continues to grow but at least stays at that rate, it'll take me 10 years to get my money back. And so then every year after that, I'm profiting. That's that's what companies a lot of times look at. Whereas when you're not trying to sell, you're just trying to save as much money on taxes, or you're investing in the company and growth and expansion and stuff like that, then you're willing to just show whatever you need to as a loss because you're looking at the future.
That makes sense.
Very insightful.
The big thing on here to me that would point to maybe this is where we're seeing some of the stress coming in 2024 is $61 million in bank loans.
Yeah.
Really, there's $62.3 million in total loans, because there's 61 million bank loans and 1.2 some in other loans. That to me, it only went up a little bit. 2022, they had 58 million and 3 million in other loans. They actually paid down their other loan debt from 3.4 down to 1.2. Who knows what that was a part of? And then 58 million went up to 61 million.
And is that interesting to where, like, obviously House of Dis, when they really became what they are now, there was some like venture capitalist money that came in. Is it interesting to you that came in and they still wanted to acquire additional loans, or would that be a strategy from the new investors coming in to say, hey, let's get some loans?
It all depends on, because like I hate debt personally, so I avoid it like the plague, but there's a lot of people that leverage debt in a wise way. Right. I say wise. I don't know how wise you can be taking on debt because there's inherent risk, but you can look at debt, right, and say, well, we're going to get 61 million from the bank, and it's going to be on whatever interest, and that's going to allow us to now go out and use that 61 million. And as long as, like, let's say that we'll just use basic terms. Let's say that I had $100,000 on a 10% interest. Well, if I can go take that $100,000 and earn 20%,
right,
then
it's better than what I had to pay in interest.
Yeah.
Right.
And it frees up where I still have my money.
Right.
Because that's the other thing is sometimes maybe you had the 61 million, but if you tie it all up in this, then you're risking your own assets, versus right now you can play with other people's money as long as you can make the minimum payment.
Yeah.
But that's the hard part, is that second line, as long as you can make the payment. Mm-hmm. $61 million in debt.
That's a big old payment.
That's a big old payment. Because you'll also see interest on the P&L looks like $7 million in interest, interest expense. Which is pretty in line with what they paid the previous year, but that's a lot of money you gotta pay in interest alone. That doesn't include paying towards the principal as well. So, if I had to guess, when I'm looking at this, what it seems to me,
we should talk about the ownership.
We'll talk about that in a second. What this all seems to me is, I personally would be terrified because I'm a very risk adverse person. I don't like risk, so seeing companies losing millions and millions scares me as a person, but I can understand this being a growth mindset, betting on growth company. The P&L losing these big numbers, that doesn't scare me, because P&L, like I said, can just be. It
is definitely scarier though, because growth mindset conflicts with laying off people's.
Yes. So that's where
that says we're backing out. That's what I was about
to say, is when I'm looking at this, where I see, okay, what could have potentially led to where we are at currently, where we've seen some restructuring within them, we've seen some layoffs, we've seen what seems to say they're not doing nearly that hot in today's market based on just outside looking in, would be the debt. Mm-hmm. That would be to me, because like even bank accounts, it looks like going into 2024 they were carrying in, it looks like $6.2 million in their bank account, which was an increase from 2022. So 2022 they had 2.6 million. They ended 2023 with 6.2 million. Going into 2022 they had 5 million in inventory. They ended with 20 million in inventory in 2023. So like all of this stuff points to, hey, yeah, we lost 25 million, but we have more in the bank and more on our shelves.
Right.
Which is like, if you don't look at that, you look at the other, like, okay, that's healthy, that's good. But when you have a bank calling you for $62 million, that could be what is like if the growth didn't continue, like if we were projecting, went from 23 million to 39 million, we were projecting 2024 to be 50 million, which could have been a legitimate prediction.
Yeah.
And it ended up coming in at 38 million. Well, now we're in trouble.
Right.
So to me, that is where, if I had to just blindly guess, that would be my guess, is that was kind of what was going on, was a consistent progression estimate that ended up stalling. And now it's just, we owe a lot of money. Let's restructure, figure it out. And it's a question, though, of how big does that restructure have to be? That's what we don't know.
Yeah.
But I found this very interesting.
It is really interesting.
The ownership percentage that was, again, all this was sent to us.
This is definitely going to be on the screen as we're talking about it, right? Like, we're going to have to put this on the on the video for
the ownership percentage.
No, like the sheets.
Oh, that could be tough. Maybe
we're gonna get cooked alive if we don't put that up there.
Well, now we are. Now Trevor said it.
Yeah, well, thanks, Trev.
We did it with a tier list, and they cooked us alive. I feel like with all this information we're talking about, they're probably gonna want to read it.
For how long? If I put it up there,
the ownership percentage. Again, all of this was just emailed to us from what is this dude's? Just a Swedish fan, Clark, I believe was his name. So he could have just typed all this into an Excel spreadsheet and just have me doing loop-de-loops. Definitely could have happened.
That'd be fun.
That would be pretty elaborate.
It would be. So basically, ownership-wise, how this sheet breaks it down, and this is into 2023, so we don't know if any of this shifted going into 2024. But basically, they're color-coordinated, so like gray is who would have come from, I think, Latitude and whatever. So House of Discs Top Co., which I would assume is a lot of the like outside investment, owns 43%. Then David Berglund owns 12%. Svante Eriksson, 11. Johan Ostrom, 8. Lars Ekstrom, 8. Anders Kallstrom, 0.6. Per Johnson, 0.4. Par Lindberg, I'm probably destroying some of these names, 0.4. Jay Harbor, 0.3. Jeremy Rusko, 6.6%. UC Maresma, 7.3%. And Juho Rantalio, 0.9%. So that's kind of the ownership breakdown that this sheet has it at. So moral of the story, I don't know what happened in 2024. I think that when people see this or heard it, the $25 million loss in 2023, I think that's probably why it was sent to us. Is like, this is crazy. I can't believe they lost $25 million. And the point I wanted to get across more is like, well, they paper lost $25 million. How much do they actually lose? I don't know. Again, if you look at just bank account, again, it went up $4 million. Their accounts receivable went down by $5 million, so that would be a net -1. But then you're looking at an inventory increase of $14 million, or almost $15 million.
Yeah, the bigger picture would come from seeing this year's financials.
The bigger picture is, just looking at what we already have seen, which is something changed in 2024, and it could be as simple as maybe they are looking to have an exit and have outside investors, and so they need to get the P&L healthy over the next few years, and in order to do that, they have to lay off. That could literally be it. It could be like, oh no, we're completely fine. We just need to restructure a little bit. It's, stuff like that happens all the time. So is it time to like freak out if someone's at House of Discs? I don't know. It's impossible to know what they're doing. But
we ain't there.
There's your information. I did find it very interesting to at least look at that, because I do think it's really hard sometimes to look at disc golf and know, like, even when I heard UC Maresma was able to sell Discmania for $20 million, like, it was, holy cow.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing.
Because what it makes you question is, like, we all have eyes, right? We can look around and look at the courses and see how much more Discraft is in players' bags than House of Discs. Mm-hmm. And then you see all of House of Discs is doing $39 million a year. Yeah. And you're like, holy cow, what's Discraft doing?
What's that revenue?
And then you're like, well, every time I go into Dick's Sporting Goods, I see Innova on every shelf. What's Innova doing every year? You know what I mean? And start to think.
Get a petition to make it public. Get a petition
disc golf companies might be bigger than you think. So that was hopefully a little fun insight for you.
That was really interesting.
When we had nothing really going on in the disc golf world. And if someone is listening from House of Discs and wants to correct any of that, or if you're like, hey, you got bamboozled, this dude sent you a fake list, please let me know, and I can correct it next week.
It'd be a pretty insane activity.
Be a crazy
to
prank.
Make that ginormous list full of very specific numbers.
Yeah, and like I said, I Googled to make sure, because if you search like financial information public Sweden, This is what I did earlier.
Very very scholarly of you.
In Sweden, finance information is accessible through the government website via the Ministry of Finance, where details like their budget, blah, blah, blah. And then you can also find the like different businesses, but it just said a lot of times there's a fee associated with it. So, because that's how when Disc Golf Fanatic posted UC Maresma's how much he sold it for, that's how he found it, is you can just search it and find it.
That's crazy.
There you go. All right. It's time for a fan favorite segment, Trevor's Trivia, right after these messages.
Trevor, what are you going to hit us with today?
All right, chaps. I've got one that I think is actually interesting. I was looking through some stuff, and I found some of these statistics turned into game were surprising.
Oh, statistics.
So we're going to look at disc golf from the beginning of 2020 to now, okay? Kind of the COVID boom era, right?
Yeah.
And the goal of this game is we are trying, and by we I mean you guys, are trying to guess the companies which have had the most molds approved in that window from beginning of 2020 to now.
Okay.
So you guys will go back and forth. You'll each get to pick. We'll say 4 each, going for the highest amount you can get. And now this can include, like, this is just, they had them approved by the PDGA. It might mean they prototyped one. It might mean this or that. That's just how it is. That's the name of the game.
Okay.
I've already written down most of the big companies ahead of time, but if you name a niche or one, then I can count it up because it's not too
From
crazy.
2020 to now, who goes first?
Who won? Konner won the last game, so Hunter, you can go first. There's enough on the table that are close to each other that first is not a massive advantage at all.
2020 to now? What the frick was going on back in 2020?
I just joined Foundation, so that's where you can
years
start.
ago.
That's where you can start the timeline.
Well, I think you got to just kind of go big companies.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go. I'll go Discraft.
Discraft has approved 15 molds since 2020.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
Konner?
Now I have a question.
Yes.
So, I'll just say I want to go the realm of Streamline, but I can't say.
MVP, Axiom, and Streamline are all different.
Thank you. That was my question.
I would have clarified that, but yeah.
I'm going to go with MVP.
MVP has had 12 molds approved.
Interesting.
Okay,
I
wanna
really
go-
feel like it's been way more than that.
Now that I've heard those two numbers,
Well, yeah.
I want to go with Lone Star.
Okay. Lone Star is not one that
Because I don't think they existed.
But
pre-
that's
2020.
That's a good
I think
one.
that's smart.
And
yeah.
now I think they have more than 12 molds.
Well, we'll find out.
I think it's a
live.
very good idea, Hunter. I respect it.
That is
Heck
the
out of
line
you.
of thought I was wondering if you guys would get onto.
Well, I just wanted to hear the first numbers. Because if Discraft
Yeah.
would have been like 40, then that line of thought would have went out the window.
Okay, where we are at Lone Star Discs. Let's count them up. Their first mold, yeah, this was probably a good pick. First mold was approved after 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great.
1,
That's great,
2,
Hunter.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Actually, I know these entire pages are 40, so it's 48.
48?
Wow, that's gonna be unbeatable. I think.
That's got to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
Daggone.
It's more than I even thought.
48 molds. What the frick are they doing? That's crazy.
That is crazy.
48? Okay. Wow. So I'm at what, like 50, 63 right now?
I'm gonna go with.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to a similar vein of that. Just thinking like they've been doing. It's more recent. I don't know how long Mint has been around, but it can't be too long. I'm gonna go Mint.
Okay.
I don't think that it's possible. I'm not even gonna try to touch that. I'm just gonna keep on trying to do well.
There are other ones on my list that are near that.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
Who's dropping discs left?
Mint
and right?
is, okay, this isn't too many, but it's not
It's like a-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Okay.
14, 15, 16.
Okay,
That's not a bad one.
Not embarrassing.
Not a bad one. There are some monsters on my list, though, that you guys have not named.
Okay.
2 more guesses
Interesting.
each. I did not even think about Lone Star, though. That was a genius pick.
Yeah.
Because they have done
Do you have
so
ones?
many molds.
Do you have ones on your list that are more than Lone Star?
Close.
Close. Okay. What is on Trevor's list?
Well, I'm trying to think of like who we've carried that we're like,
There's
this is a new mold. We've had a lot of new discs. Oh, you know what? Give me. No, that can't be good. I'll just go Latitude 64.
Only 13.
Yeah.
Very surprising.
I didn't know with the Royal line how many they had to get reapproved.
That's basically everything they've done. Yeah.
I know that this has got to be at least
knocking.
I know, it's so hard. Sorry, my jaw
just popped.
I'm gonna go. I'm scared. Okay, I'm gonna go with a company that I know approves discs every other day, so I'm just gonna go with Gateway.
Okay, I have not. Really
I think Gateway's got to be at least over 15.
I have no idea.
They did a lot early on, so it's tough to say.
The past few years, they've been.
What's crazy is what is this? What company does this guy have in his back pocket? Because
I don't know.
Let's keep looking him up.
I don't know.
There's Gateway's not good.
Oh no!
I feel like
Gateway didn't approve a new mold from 2019 February till February of 2023.
Oh no! Konner.
Where were you?
Since then, they've done 1, 2,
And
3,
I'm
4,
so
5,
sorry.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Oh,
14.
it's fine.
Okay, so
That's
it's still
fine.
fine.
Still
Okay,
right in
yeah,
the
yeah.
range.
It speaks right to your point
That was
that they
scary.
have done a lot recently,
Yeah.
but they just stopped making discs.
I gotta find Trevor's one. Okay.
I know.
There are two-
Where's
there are two
Trevor's
doozies.
treasures? Gotta find one of Trevor's treasures.
And there's pretty specific reasons for each one that you would obviously know once you got it.
Oh shoot.
Okay, I'm going to go with, because I have two of them in my head. They're both tied to each other. So whichever
Yeah.
one I take, you're going to take the other.
Yeah.
And it's because they split. So now you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like Discmania got that many of their new originals approved. So I'm going to go
Certainly
with
not
Innova
50.
because I know Innova got
Innova has 23.
a lot reapproved.
23.
So I'm going to go Innova.
It's pretty good. I don't think I can beat him anymore. How many more do we get?
This is it. Here's the last pick of the game.
My last pick. Heavens to Betsy.
Yeah.
I don't know who Betsy is, but heavens to her.
I will. May I offer one little thing of like, because I don't have another pick, right?
Yeah.
There is one other company that you have a bag full of over there that didn't exist pre-2020.
Konner,
I don't know how many
dude.
molds exist there, but
that's so true. At
Just
least a
saying.
decent bit.
it's at least.
I'm not
enough to
gonna.
fill
Like,
the
I'm not gonna.
bag.
I appreciate the help
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna win with that. But Clash Discs, yeah, they
I
started
didn't have
since
Clash written
then.
down.
Who is the monster you had?
Discmania had 43.
It was
The
Discmania.
active line.
Okay, so
Think
you
about
could have
the-
split it.
Oh,
The active
I just
line and
assumed
all that
active line was pre-2020.
Prodigy 39 because they had the F model,
What?
M model, D model.
I don't
all
even
come
think
out.
Prodigy had 39 molds.
Yes,
They had all their F
had to
D
have an
models and U models,
F15.
but then all of their like player specific discs as
let
well.
him say his
the
joke.
MX,
He's
like, all that
raring
stuff.
up.
Me?
Yeah.
I wasn't wearing up a job. I was gonna start counting them because I felt like I could count.
It looked
all
like you
of
were about
them.
to drop
I can
a
read.
punchline.
I can read them off.
No, I don't need 'em.
Clash has got to be like
It's but like they were
25?
doing like D model US pluses and stuff.
Bro,
and,
what
like,
the frick's this? Konner, there's a D model US plus.
what? What the heck is that?
What is
Also,
that?
like they got a Prodigy Club.
they trying to
Carter
win this
approved,
game?
Like
Yeah, I think they knew this game was
Clash
coming.
might be a monster though.
I don't know how many they have.
That would have been a really
Probably
good pick.
under 30,
But
pretty good, I would say.
But no,
Probably
Discmania
26.
shocked me when I saw how many it had.
I almost took Discmania. I went with Innova instead.
Clash is
For Clash,
1,
I'm going
2, 3,
26.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
If I get it right on the dot, do I
18,
win?
19,
If I get it right on the dot, do I win,
21,
Hunter?
Yeah.
22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27,
No!
28, 29, 30, 31,
Great
32.
pick though. 32.
32.
Well, it's really your pick, so I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hunter wins. But yeah, Discmania and Prodigy, a lot of molds. It is crazy.
Dang.
It's crazy. It's mostly crazy to be like only those companies, like the companies like Latitude and Discraft that have been doing really well, but they haven't been like doing necessarily huge new reinvent things, are pretty stagnant. But like the difference between 15 and like 40 is because Discmania was like making a new disc line, doing all these signature molds, and then like also at the same time
Well, that's what I thought.
reinventing like their own
Because Discmania,
games.
I
you
just
know?
didn't know.
Yeah.
I just didn't know because I knew Innova. Why I went with Innova is
funny.
I didn't realize Active Line and Evolution Line were post 2020. It makes sense now because
Yeah.
COVID was the whole reason they did all that crap. But I went Innova just because I was like, oh well, Innova would have been approving their own molds, and they got a lot of the like Discmania molds reapproved under new names.
Yeah, that's
Because like the PD, they turned into the
Innova,
or,
yeah.
like, the MD3, they would turn into the
Innova,
Metal
like-
Warrior or whatever.
I
Yeah.
feel like until recently, like after that, I feel like they weren't really doing a ton.
Then you had like the Gordon,
And then recently,
Racer, the
recently they've done a
Charger,
bunch.
the Alien. But
That's
all right.
crazy. I would have thrown out there Streamline
Discmania.
because I don't feel like Streamline was really doing much before 2020. Were they?
They were, yeah.
Oh,
They existed.
I mean, I remember them in like
I'm saying the pilot and stuff.
Yeah.
Streamline just doesn't release. much new
Discmania
stuff.
is literally just Active Line, like some of the new signature stuff, like the Vanguard and the Function,
Yeah.
and then like Evolution Line. Yeah,
I feel like Axiom could have been a good one too. I was
Axiom
thinking,
only had 9.
I was thinking like maybe the boom from Simon joining, but that's still no match.
Yeah,
for
if you
those other
combined
companies.
Axiom, MVP, and Streamline, it would have been okay.
Yeah.
but like it's still not
Lone
great.
Star was the. I just remember Lone Star
That
at
was
one
a
point
great
approved
pick.
like
That's such a good
20
pick.
some discs
Such
in
a
like
good
a few
pick.
weeks.
They got
They-
so many discs.
They were going off there
So.
for a little bit.
All right, that was a fun Trevor trivia. It's now time for the in the bag segment.
Let's
It's
do
gonna
Connor,
be a
boys.
blast.
Connor won last
It's
week, so
gonna be a
Connor has
blast.
5 points. I came in second, so I now have 7 points, and Trevor has 6 points. We are
Neck
going
and neck.
to.
I love it.
We can reword this because we all understand the prompt, so you can help me write the prompt because I didn't
Yeah.
write it yet. Which is what I have right now is sneaking disc golf terms into Christmas song names. Is that the best way to word that?
I would
You
just
could just
say-
say Christmas song titles, disc golf.
Disc
themed?
golf themed Christmas song titles.
Yeah,
Okay, there we go.
Disc golf themed Christmas song titles. Yeah, you'll get it.
that's it.
We're just throwing disc golf words into song titles.
All right, so Connor, you need to determine the order.
I don't care who goes
Yeah, I
first
don't know
on
that
this
it
one,
matters a ton
because
for this
I
game.
there's you can be so creative with this. There's no way we're all gonna
just-
say the exact same thing.
I think people are gonna have some of mine.
I would.
There's no
yeah,
way.
There's just no way.
I would like to
There's
go-
one that there's no way anyone has mine.
I would like to go third so I can just get the flow of rattling off two.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know, and then
I actually wouldn't mind going to the.
I'll
middle.
let Hunter go first. Trevor go
Yeah,
second.
I like the middle for
Okay.
this.
You do? I never liked that.
I like it because I'm going to be
in this
speaking.
game.
I'm going to be able to get them off like often. I don't have to ever make a big weight.
I get that. Yeah. You know to get cold.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and take my.
I'm going to cry if Hunter somehow has one of mine.
There's no way
There's
anybody
just
has any
no
of mine.
way.
I'm gonna go ahead and take Oh Heiserbomb,
Oh, Heiser
I like
bomb?
that.
like Oh Tannenbaum.
Oh, okay.
okay.
There's a lot of
Heiser
oh
bomb.
something somethings in the Christmas songs. Okay, my first one is instead of "Hark the Herald Angels Sing," it's "Park the Heinold Archangels Sing."
What?
Oh, interesting. Park the Heinold
You only had to put
Archangels
one in
Sing.
there. You could just park the Herald Angels.
Yeah,
Sing.
but it's way
Park
more
the
funny to put
Heinold
Heinold.
Archangels Sing.
That's my just put as
I
many disc golf
love
words in
that.
the title.
That's crazy.
I love that.
Okay.
I love that. And just to be clear, we in the prompt for this, we don't put
No.
what the title is and then what our title
No,
is.
yeah.
No, because I think half the battle is people have to recognize
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great, Trevor.
That's
I
crazy. Park
really
the
like
Heinold
that.
Archangels Sing.
I really
Wow.
like that. I just to let you guys know, I will be singing mine just
Oh,
for
okay.
the added ambiance of it. I can't. I really like all of mine now, and now I'm having a hard time picking. I'll go.
Mine is so dumb.
Last Christmas, I switched to a cart.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah. Love that. Yeah,
A
that's
simple
very
one to start them off. Didn't have to sing that one because it sounds a lot like
I
the
will
actual
say,
title.
I think that song's just Last Christmas. I don't think it's a Last Wish for
good. It
Christmas.
is just called Last Christmas, but
But hey,
people will get the idea.
Yeah. Gonna need. Nothing. Oh, I get two.
You get
Shoot. All right, here we go. This one is. I'm gonna have to get myself ready to sing this one.
Okay.
I wanna hit this par safe putt for Christmas.
nice.
I want to hit the what putt?
Par safe putt.
Par safe putt.
Hippopotamus hit this par safe putt.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought about going after that one. Okay, my next one, instead of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, I've got Macbeth Ye Scary Gyro Men. Because James Conrad defeated him with the gyro disc.
Oh, I've got one that's that themed.
Macbeth
Ye Scary Gyro
Scary
Men.
Gyro
Wow.
Men.
Yeah.
Trevor, I think that you are on
You're
acid.
You're on a different wavelength.
Here's what I did. I read a song title and thought, what words in disc golf sound like those words?
Okay, so I get two. I get two here.
Macbeth, he's scary gyro man.
No,
No,
ye.
it's
Macbeth
Macbeth
Ye-
Ye Scary Gyro Men. Come on, that's funny.
I
I'm laughing, aren't I?
I'm gonna take this one next. I'm gonna go with Winter Wonder Bread next.
That's
instead of Winter
My other ones are
Wonderland.
way more tame than those two,
That's great.
which isn't saying much. Those were tripping.
Man, I like all of mine.
I like going in the middle.
Okay, this one sucks. I'm gonna get rid of that one. I'm gonna go with.
I like Winter Wonder Bread a lot. That's very good.
Step Putt into Christmas, like Step into Christmas.
Fair
Step
enough.
Putt
I've never
into
heard that
Christmas.
song.
I don't know that song.
Step into Christmas, let us come together,
okay.
people. Watch
I know it now.
forever
I know it.
and ever.
Hit it with them, hun. Hit it with them.
This one is kind of unhinged as well. Instead of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, we've got Sawed Off the Nose-Up Roller.
Trev, dude,
How do you throw a nose-up roller?
that doesn't even sound like it anymore.
How do you saw off a nose-up roller?
Rudolph, Sawed Off.
Yeah, I get that
No,
part.
I know, but how do you
Instead
saw
of red
off?
nose, it's nose up. And then instead of reindeer, it's roller. It's
Yeah,
not
but
that
how
hard
do
to
you?
believe.
But how do you throw a sawed-off nose-up roller? That's
But if I
impossible.
That's not important.
If I walked into someone and said,
That's not important.
sawed off the nose-up roller, is anyone going, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
But Trevor's also saying the song titles and then saying it afterwards,
well-
so it helps.
I think if the
Well, you got to remember, this is going to be posted, and no one's going to have comments.
listen.
I'm fine with it.
Just
I
to
had
be
fun
fair, Trevor,
making them.
I think that's extremely fun.
Whatever.
I'm having a great time listening to him. Don't
You're-
whatever
I like-
me.
No, you guys are bullying my answer.
I'm hyping you up.
Hark the Heinold Archangel Sing is a great one. Macbeth Ye Scary Gyro Men, that one just like, it doesn't make...
That was my favorite
it
one.
just doesn't make sense as a...
That
And then
was my
sawed off
favorite
the nose-up roller also...
You do understand what I
You're
did.
going
though.
down.
Impressive
You're
shot.
just going down a slide.
No, I understand what you did. You have no regard for what it means. You are just
Correct.
putting disc
I
golf
just
words
want
in
it
there.
to sound
Yes,
like,
Yeah.
like the
then
song
that
title
is
disc
that's a
golf
way to
words.
go, and I appreciate
Correct,
it.
yes.
I completely appreciate it. My turn.
My last one's not like that.
This one is also on the theme of Paul Macbeth being a victim to James Conrad. I'll be singing this, and sorry if I get emotional.
Oh,
Oh, holy shot.
that was one of mine.
That's so
You
easy.
left the McBeast crying.
What? How far do I go? Oh holy shot!
If you can go, you left the McBeast crying. I'd appreciate it.
That is a little bit scandalous. I'll admit.
Well, but we did let him go last
we
Christmas.
did.
I switched
We
to the
already
card.
did. We set a precedent, so we probably have to stick to it.
Yeah, that is.
I'm gonna be straight with you. I think you're gonna do better if it's just oh holy shot.
I like you
Okay.
left him the Mc. You can go. Oh, holy shot.
I think it probably won't matter either way. It's a good one. I had that one on my list.
I mainly just wanted to be able to sing the "You left the McBeast crying." You can just do "Oh Holy Shot" though.
it's
You're
up
right.
to you. We set a precedent.
I think it's immoral if I not immoral, immoral
Immoral?
if I put the second part in. So I would just
But
go.
you-
we
last
already
Christmas,
did. We
I
already
switched
let
to
it
a
slide.
card.
I'm
so
okay
already
with
did.
being immoral for that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as I'm only immoral for one. Oh, I get another one.
Yeah, your final one.
This one, I can't tell. I'm. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go. Get up and down after smacking this tree. Get up and down after smacking this tree.
Like rocking around the Christmas tree.
tree. Okay.
I know that one's not going to read well, but I like that one. I like the after smacking this tree. Get up and down after smacking this tree. I have some honorable mentions that I will hit them with in
Okay.
a second.
My
Trev?
last one is, instead of Mary, did you know? It is Cardmate, did you throw?
Yeah. I had that one, but I have Mary, did you throw? And then in parentheses, your 30 seconds is up.
That's funny.
Okay. I think I gotta just take because I think I'm in a good spot where I might get second here. I'm not beating Konner, but I think I might be in a good
I
spot
don't
to beat
think my
Trev.
list is that good.
I'm just getting bullied, man.
You're not getting bullied. I'm trying to play the game here
I don't think I have that great of a list.
because I think I can go safe here and just kind of.
My list sucks.
A lot of yours just don't make sense.
No, I think
that's all.
But the cramming the disc golf words in there, I think, is a play. Like
I
do
think I'm gonna
that's
just go because I have one that I love near and dear to my heart that I think's very funny, but I think it's just not gonna be a crowd favorite. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with the one that I think will be more, which is Jingle Bell Rock 3.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a courtesy of Brad Jones. He gave it to Trevor and I this morning. Trevor didn't take it. I will.
He will.
There we go.
So that's the list.
That's the list. My first honorable mention that I almost just took, but I didn't know. You know the Mele Kaliki Maka?
Yeah, I thought
Oh
of
my
some.
God,
I
that's
have
so funny.
Mele Kaliki Makani.
That's actually
That's
really
funny.
funny.
But I
That's
didn't know
funny.
people
It doesn't
would
make
catch,
sense, but
I
it's
didn't know
really
people
I was
would
gonna say
catch the Makani in
Mele
there.
Calvin.
That one's good too. The other one is y'all know what's her name? Dolly Parton song "Hard Candy Christmas."
Uh-huh.
Well, that's why I didn't choose it. It's 'cause
Hardy
Candy Christmas
That's
is the one I
funny.
had. Yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
But I didn't. A lot of people don't know Hard Candy Christmas.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not a super popular Christmas song.
That's always the tricky thing.
So-
I feel like a lot of the long or like a lot of the Christmas songs that are super popular just have the words Christmas, tree, like it's the same words
Yeah.
over and over again. You got to get to the more complex ones, I feel like, to have.
Konner, your honorable mentions?
words.
I had my honorable mentions was one that's not great, Rocking Right In, the first available tree.
I actually like that a lot.
Rudolph the Fairway Finder,
Like that.
and then one of my ones I really like was All I Want for Christmas is to Make from 20 Feet.
That's good too.
Instead of my two
If
front
I
teeth. And then I had something to do with Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
that would've-
I couldn't figure it out, so I gave up.
Oh,
But it was going to
man.
be Grandma threw a roller with and then I couldn't think of a disc that rhymed with reindeer.
I had it's the most wonderful time lapse of the year.
That'd been great. I like
That would have
one.
been your best
Yeah,
one.
that would've
Trevor.
been-
That literally would have been your best one.
I just was playing a different game.
No, I understand.
I think that
but
all
that's,
mine are
that's
way
a
more funny.
really,
Really good
really
one.
good one.
I think all mine are way more funny.
it's the most wonderful time lapse. That's a really good
Yeah.
one, Trevor.
Because let me also say
I'd pay $10 right now to switch out one of mine.
that
with
like I feel
I'll let
like
you.
I feel like whenever we did the band names, the playing on words thing was way bigger. But I might just be delusional.
I don't know.
What do you mean by playing on words?
I
Like
think
I
Oh
feel
Holy
like
Shot
the
is a good
puns
one.
rather, or like making the words sound like the lyrics was like a
Yes.
bigger play when we did the band names.
yes.
Yeah,
that's what
I
Konner
tried
did.
to do a little bit of both.
Correct. So
But
that's
you
why I
just,
leaned into it.
But the band names also made sense.
I don't understand the make sense thing because like,
Park the Heinold Archangel Sing. Like if I just said that, like that makes no
right.
that
well, yeah, no,
sentence
that
makes
one,
no sense.
That one makes no sense.
Macbeth Ye, which means you scary gyro man. Like Macbeth's the scary
one's
gyro
funny,
man.
though.
That doesn't make sense.
I can
Sawed
see,
off a nose up roller.
I would like
you
to
can't do that.
I would like to withdraw from the voting
No, you can't.
as now my feelings are very hurt.
I was just explaining.
I love them. I think they sound
They're all
wonderful.
funny.
I feel stupid
They're all funny.
and I'm embarrassed.
They're all funny.
No, it's not that you did something wrong, Trevor. You just did something different.
Yeah,
That's
your
it.
brain just works on a
I-
different wavelength.
Yeah.
That's all.
I'm embarrassed.
You're not worse or better at something.
Card mate
You're
did you
just
throw
different.
makes perfect sense. That's great.
I'm embarrassed.
That was my least favorite one.
Well, I like the other ones more,
Yeah,
but I don't know if they'll get votes. But I've been wrong many times before.
that's true. Hunter has been wrong before.
I don't want your votes. Don't. Vote
I
for
won't
me.
vote for you.
I don't
Hand
want-
up.
no, I don't
I
want-
always vote for myself.
I don't want anybody's votes.
My Instagram, pop it up. Oop, Hunter.
I deserve to. Come
I always do a write-in.
I deserve to come in last. A write-in.
All right. Finally, Silas selects.
I'm gonna go with.
There's only one more Silas selects this year.
It's like the most.
Wait, no, is there?
This is it. Wait.
No, yeah, there's one more Silas
No, there's
select.
one
more.
One more Silas select this year.
What's the most morbid disc name?
Here's what I'm gonna do.
Something
okay.
from
Trevor
Doomsday. I'm gonna
now.
go with the Doomsday.
We don't have those out there.
In the U section.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Okay, Silas came in here. He thought we saw the disc. He showed us it was a Mustang. He walked back out there. I think he put a Mustang back in there.
There's
No
no.
way
I'm
way
going
he has the
Mustang.
guts.
No.
There's
I'm going
no way he
Mustang.
has the
If he
guts.
did, I'm gonna kill him.
I'll
I'm
kill
going-
him too.
I'm going
Like, I'll
Mustang.
walk over there and I'll punch
Someone's
him in the
got
throat.
to. Someone's got to.
I will.
Silas,
I
if it's a
don't-
Mustang, I'm punching you in the
I
throat.
guess
So you better
Mustang.
get ready.
It's my guess.
I don't fault your play there. That's smart thinking, but I will punch him in the face.
That's
if what
fine,
he
but-
did.
And then his face and his throat are gonna hurt.
I'm going Mustang.
I'm gonna take the
Silas, you
bullet.
ready?
I think he grabbed a different. I think
Oh, he's excited.
he totally took the Mustang. I'm gonna take the bullet. Another
Bullet?
mid disc.
I'm gonna go with
kill
the.
him, bro. I'm gonna run over there and
I
I'm
think
gonna
it's a
smush
cash.
his
Cash.
head.
All right, let's see what
I'm
we got
gonna
here.
I'm gonna assault him. if
I'm
that's
gonna
a
punch him
Mustang,
so
bro.
hard.
Ah,
Thank goodness,
shield.
dude.
Wow.
West side dish shield. Ah,
He
dang
almost
it.
did it. He
Oh,
says.
I would have been so mad.
That would have been awesome.
Dang.
We could have went into the new year just the two Psy Guy bros, but we didn't.
Oh, they would have been gross.
We would have made merch. We would have been sitting here saying we're Psy Guys.
And my knuckles would be
Get
bruised.
it? Like our guys, but Psy Guys.
That's funny.
Yeah, but we didn't happen.
Oh
so.
man.
Didn't happen.
All right, well, we'll be back next week. Talk through whatever happens in disc golf. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you again next week.